Are you gonna hit the box thing? Okay. Appreciate it. That's what I heard. That's good. Yeah. Back looking at us. You see a movie, right? Damn crazy. Don't stop playing.
All right, good morning. This is the Committee on Parole. It's 8:45 a.m. Today is Tuesday, December 2nd, 2025, and we're going to start our revocation proceedings first at CALCASIEU Correctional Center. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So we're looking for Mitchell Colton.
Yes, ma'am, I'm right.
That's you, sir? Okay. Well, why don't you introduce yourself? Tell us your name and your DOC number.
Name is Mitchell Ray Colton, 128645, DOC number.
Yes, sir. And we're going to put a document up on the screen for you to verify if you sign that document. Can you, yeah, is that your signature at the bottom of that page?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. And based on the information contained in that document, you're not eligible for us to appoint you a lawyer. So are you ready to proceed today without a lawyer, or do you want to obtain a lawyer?
I'm ready to proceed today.
Okay, well, your case was assigned to Mr. Freeman, seated to my right. He's gonna read the allegations and get your plea, and we'll talk about it before we vote. Mr. Freeman.
Okay, Mr. Colton, I looked at your case, and pretty much what happened was what you got out of jail, had a $3,000 check. I don't know what it was from, but you just went right back to the old life. Am I pretty much correct on that?
Yes, I cashed my check. I just made a bad choice. I went through the rehab, the reentry program, but when I cashed the check, none of that, what happened, it just happened. There's no excuse for it. It was the money. I guess by me being on drugs before, I didn't plan on none of that happening.
Correct. So, in other words, what condition number 1, 2, and 3, you pled guilty to all of them, which all deal with not reporting, not moving without permission. I guess I better go on and read them into the record. Condition number 1, upon release, I will report no later than 48 hours to the probation parole office, Department of Public Safety, which is listed on the certificate. Do you still admit you didn't do that?
I went and lived with somebody, but I never changed my address. I mean, I never changed it. My brother, when I got out of release from work release, I reported to my brother's house.
Did you report to the probation parole office?
No, sir, I didn't.
Okay, all right. I will submit monthly reports. Did you send in monthly reports?
No, sir, I didn't.
Okay. And you said you lived at that address?
Yes, sir.
But they couldn't find you there when they went numerous times.
The parole officer didn't never go by my brother's house.
Okay. All right, and condition number 10, did you pay any of your fees?
No, sir.
Okay, all right, Mr. Mitchell. Here's my take on it. You got out, you went straight to drugs. You asking for help is what I saw at the preliminary hearing for your drug problem. Is that correct or not?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You agree to go to inpatient treatment if I send you to it in DOC?
Yes, sir.
You gonna sit there and try to learn something? Because if you're not gonna try to learn something, it's no use for me to waste state's money.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, I have no further questions. My colleagues have questions.
I don't have any ready to vote.
Okay, I'm ready to vote. Okay, Mr. Mitchell, I find you guilty of condition number 1, 2, 3, 9, and 10. In lieu of revocation, I am gonna recommend that you go to a long-term DOC substance abuse facility. Okay, the longest we got is, I think, 9 months. So, they will get you to that facility, sit on the first row and learn everything you can, and upon completion, you'll be released. That's my recommendation.
Mr. Price,
Sir.
I concur.
as do I, Mr. Colton. So what was your question? What's your question?
Oh,
Yeah, y'all are on mute. They can't hear me. All right. And we're gonna send you to substance abuse. Who's up next?
Oh, Brandon.
Who?
Brandon.
Brandon.
Yeah. No. What's going on with the man, under the man, on the chief?
All right, we are ready for Mr. Guillory. Yeah, y'all are still on mute. Can you get somebody to unmute the mic? Thank you.
Yes,
Thanks.
ma'am. Doing, my name's,
Mr. Guillory, what is your, introduce yourself. Tell us your name and DOC number, please.
my name's Brandon Guillory. My DOC number 632658.
All right, Mr. Guillory, and we are here again for a revocation decision. We're gonna put the form up on the screen for you to verify if that's your signature.
Yes, ma'am.
Is that your
Yes.
signature dated? What is that dated?
hold up, let me see. I think that's, 10/2.
Uh,
October 2nd.
Okay, October 2nd of this year. Okay, thank you, sir. Is that your signature?
Yes, ma'am, that's right.
Okay, and based on that information, you're not eligible for an appointed lawyer. Are you ready to proceed today?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, your case, Mr. Freeman will take the lead on your case.
Okay, Mr. Guillory, I'm gonna read the violations against you. You can plead guilty, not guilty, and you can have a statement, okay?
Yes, sir.
You wish to make one. So we'll go over each one. I will not engage in any criminal activity, nor will I associate with people who are known to be involved in criminal activity. I will avoid bars and casinos. I will refrain from illegal use of drugs or alcohol. Agent Jacobs Broussard alleged the subject violated this condition by engaging in criminal activity, which led to his arrest by the Suffolk Police Department and being charged with indecent behavior with juvenile, simple burglary, identity theft less than $300, and theft less than $1,000. Agent Broussard provided a copy of the Suffolk Police report. According to the report, Brandon Guillory was captured on video surveillance at the Cash Magic Casino withdrawing money from the ATM using a stolen debit card. A search warrant was issued by Judge Tony Fazio of the 14th Judicial District on 9/19/25. Items were recovered that matched the descriptions of stolen property. In addition to these items, letters and text messages were recovered that indicated a sexual relationship between Mr. Guillory and his 14-year-old niece. When interviewed, Mr. Guillory denied any and all allegations about sexual relationship and consented to providing DNA swabs. The niece was taken to the hospital. She refused the SANE exam, but agreed to pregnancy test, which she was negative. How do you plead to that charge?
Not guilty.
Okay, what's your statement with regards to all of those violations?
All right, yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. So, with my niece, whenever I had moved into this new apartment, I had an old friend of mine, and he had just got married. And me and my friend would go out, and his wife would think that I'm like giving him a reason to go see other girls and stuff. You know what I'm saying? So they get to arguing, and they see that I was staying with my niece and my brother. And if you look on like because I know y'all probably got my discovery or whatever, but the chick that had called the police lived right next door to us, and her name was Hope Babcock, and Ashton is one of my friends. But Hope had got into it with my brother like the day before, and she called the people and said I was messing with my niece. I done gave them DNA. I done gave them my phone. They found letters in my room that they say indicated a sexual relationship, but it wasn't. It's because I take care of my niece. Like, I taught her how to walk. I got her baptized for the first time. I taught her how to ride bikes. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, they took this letter that said I was her first everything, and they took it and looked at it in a sexual manner. And if you do that, then of course it's going to sound bad if you're looking at it that way. But if you look at it from a uncle to niece point stand view, it's just her showing that she loves me, bro. And they took that and they're trying to make it like she's saying we didn't do nothing. I got all that evidence saying I didn't do nothing. Like, they didn't even accept my charges on this charge right now. None of my charges.
Let's move on to the next one then. I think we got the gist of what you said happened with that one. What about the simple burglary and identity theft?
Yeah, no, sir, I didn't do no simple burglary. And, the identity theft, yeah, I did, but in my response, I didn't know it was stolen. I would have never put my face on camera if I'd have known these cards were stolen. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't even done them. But I didn't know I had cut somebody's grass for $75 and I helped move logs. You know what I'm saying? From the tree we had cut down, and they were supposed to pay me $75. Well, I went to his sister's house and picked up the credit card, and I had withdrawn some money off the ATM like he had told me, and he just paid me out of that. And then I ended up going to jail because I say I went to jail for the burglary. They said because there was a burglary. So they took me to jail to investigate the burglary. And while I was in jail, that's whenever they ended up coming in saying that the credit card, they kicked in my door, said the property was at my house, but dude that had gave me the credit card to go get money off of was the person paying me for the yard that I had cut or whatever. And
Was it
I
his
didn't
card? The guy that gave the card, was it his card?
he said it was his sister. And I had the bag, and the reason it was at my house was because the bag, it was in my friend's truck that went to go pick him up to get the money from the ATM. He had left it was a white bag sack in the truck. And my friend had dropped the bag sack off my house and was like, man, your partner left the bag in the truck. So whenever they kicked in my door, I still had the bag from that.
All right. And did you pay any supervision fees?
No, sir.
Why you didn't pay any supervision fees? You had no income?
No, sir, I didn't have no income.
All right. And all of these charges are still pending, correct?
Yes, sir, that's correct.
Okay. Why you chose to have the hearing instead of waiting on the charges?
I didn't know I could just wait on my charges. My parole officer had told me that I couldn't wait on my charges, that I had to go in front of the board for y'all to either like do a continuance until my charges are seen, or I would just have to violate myself. That's what he had informed me on. Cause I was coming today to ask for a continuance due to lack of evidence until they accept my charges or I go take a plea or something.
Just a minute up here. Okay. I think that's what we need to do now. Okay, if you want a continuance, we're gonna grant it. Okay?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Because
sir.
it can, otherwise, I'm definitely would have to revoke you today because I don't know the outcome of the charges. So, we're gonna continue it, and when the charges are disposed, they can send it back to us and we'll reschedule.
And just because the charges might be dismissed or reduced does not necessarily mean that you won't get revoked.
Right.
Okay, I want you to understand that. So don't come out of court being all overjoyous and all that, because you still got to come back before us after you get those charges resolved, because unlike Mr. Freeman, there is a preponderance of evidence that you're guilty of the ATM thing and the niece. Right.
Do you have a court date set? Do you know?
No, ma'am, they never even sent me to arraignment. I never got, yeah, it's been 60 days.
Okay, well, that's between you and the court, but do you have any objection to continue? Okay, so we're gonna continue you today, and once that's resolved, or you go to court, we'll see you again.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
You better expect something.
Yeah. Michael. You got the same thing, no. It's somewhere for 6 months.
Probably Shreveport. Shreveport program in Shreveport.
Yeah.
Revocation.
Like he said a DOC drug program, he been sitting it back in prison.
Nah, yeah, that's definitely up the road.
Sitting it back in prison from that point.
Yeah, that's not that. Yeah,
They ain't let you get no out treatment, outpatient. treatment. And then like a whole house or a sanctuary, nothing like that.
yeah, I think basing like a 3/4 house or something.
Jail, back to jail. You ain't seen that too? He ready to send you back.
I already know. Yeah, I ain't worried about it, man. I just know one thing, bro. You pass me for choice. All these bullshit, man. Yeah, we went there.
You just wait one more
You good?
So,
time. If you wait, I can take you can do all back to work. No. No? Oh, we gotta go back to work anyway.
no, take me keys on. Might go take me B5.
Anyway, you from the
Yeah,
I'm gonna call him up. You gotta wait to take you to one.
alright. I'm gonna say you probably got John right there.
Man,
Yeah, it's too cold in here, man. Not old, I see. Man, it's crazy. They said they got enough evidence. I know they ain't got none. I ain't doing, I promise I ain't do no burglary. Promise I ain't do this other shit. Hey. Be alright.
All right, Mr. Tate,
Probably got-
can you need to stand up or something so I can see you. There you are. Mr.
Who's Mr. Tate?
Mr. Tate is. Yeah, there you
Sit up-
go.
There you go.
Yeah, that's better. Would you introduce yourself, sir? Tell us your name and DOC number.
Daniel Tate, 347547.
All right, Mr. Tate, I'm gonna be asking you some questions. The camera, I can't see you again. I don't know what.
We need him to go,
Can
yeah,
we swap
swap with,
places?
Mr. Cole.
Yeah, thank you. That's better. So, Mr. Tate, I'm gonna ask you some questions because I couldn't find your signed parole revocation questionnaire. So let me just ask you these questions. Have you been treated for mental illness in the past 5 years?
No, ma'am.
Are you currently taking any medication for a mental disorder?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Can you read and write?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand the parole violation charges against you?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you want to speak on your own behalf today? Do you want to speak on your own behalf today?
I haven't even been to court yet, ma'am. I don't even know what's gonna happen to me there.
We're gonna
get there. We're gonna get there. Hold
real
up.
quick. We're
Calm
gonna get
down.
there. So do you want to speak on your own behalf, that yes or no?
I speak, I can talk. I can talk.
Okay, before you were locked up this time, what was your average monthly income?
I was working day to day. I was home.
So you
I
were,
was day to day. I was homeless.
okay. Do you own any property?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So because you can understand the charges against you, you don't have any mental health conditions, you're not on medication, you're not eligible for us to appoint a lawyer for you today. So are you ready to proceed without a lawyer? Otherwise, you have to hire your own.
Me, none of this is fair.
Sir, do you want to proceed today or not?
I mean, do I have a choice?
Yeah. You can sit there or we can talk about what's going on here today.
I mean, I'm go ahead. I mean, can I get a continuance of some sort?
We're gonna,
We're
I'm
gonna
gonna
talk
yeah.
about all that.
Mr. Frame, go ahead.
Okay, obviously you just got arrested. Your charges are all still pending. Do you want a continuance?
Yes, sir.
Okay, we're gonna continue your case until your charges are disposed, and then they can send us a report back. Okay, case has been continued.
That concludes our business at CALCASIEU. We're gonna sign off. It's 9:13.
And anyway, should be in it. Now they should send, they gonna be sending that little link in a minute, then I got to
All right, good morning. This is the Committee on Parole. We are reconvening this morning. We're at Dixon Correctional Institute. Today is Tuesday, December 2nd, 2025. The time is 9:19 a.m. Good morning, Warden. Would you and your staff introduce yourself for the record?
Good morning. Yes, ma'am. Dustin Beckham, Warden.
Donald Cavalier classification.
Ashley Bradley, Records.
Ashley Bradley.
Xavier Shorts, re-entry.
Yep, and that's it.
All right, well, thank you for accommodating us this morning. And we have before us, Mr. Aaron. Aaron,
Yes, ma'am.
would you introduce yourself? Tell us your name and DOC number.
Robert Aaron, 399617.
All right, and you have counsel with you this morning. Would you introduce yourself, sir?
Good morning, I'm Robert Lancaster. I'm here today representing Mr. Aaron.
Okay, thank you. And let me just acknowledge that you have your sister, Jeanette Thompson, Jeanette Alexander Thompson, and she wants to speak on your behalf. So we'll ask for her remarks at the appropriate time. So first, before we get started, well, let me just turn it over to Mr. Prater. He'll have some questions for you, Mr. Aaron, and then we're going to convene an executive session after that. So after we hear from Mr. Lancaster and your sister, we'll take some confidential testimony at that time in executive session, as is authorized by law, and then we'll come back into regular session. So that's kind of how it's going to work this morning. A little different, I guess, than what you're used to, because you've been through this before. So, Mr.
Okay. All right, Mr. Aaron, tell us why you're there, what you did, and tell us why we should be considering allowing you out. You've been through hearings before, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I'm in here for stabbing my girlfriend on February, October the 3rd, 1997. I was drinking one night. I had a long day. I was drinking. At my friend guy's house, we playing spade, and I was drinking, and I went to her house, and we had a few words. We had started arguing or whatever. She wanted me to leave, so I left, and I ended up coming back. I went to ask the police, "Can I get my clothes out the house?" And she said. And they said no. Excuse me. I went to the house and broke in, kicked the window in, got a knife and stabbed her. Came back out the house. I don't remember, however, I did it though. Come out the house and stabbed her. Somebody come up behind me and hit me with a 2x4 twice, from my understanding, twice. So I broke out running to my mom's house. And that's how I ended up getting locked up.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
We'll ask some questions in a little bit, but tell us what you've done since you've been incarcerated.
Since I've been incarcerated, I have attended I got victim impact. That was my most impactful program I took. Realizing that the crime I committed, not only did it affect Miss Sinead, it affected her daughter, her family, my family, and the whole community of Baton Rouge. And I took victim awareness. I now know about the ripple effect of what I've done. And I know I hurt Miss Sinead in so many ways, financially, spiritually, in all kind of ways. And I'm sorry that it happened. I take full responsibility for what I've done. And I wish I could take it back, but however, I can't. I can only focus on today and making sure that I continue on the right path and doing the right things. And I'm constantly in AA meetings. I go to AA meetings constantly. And I'm willing to, if granted, I'm willing to attend AA 3 times out a week, at least 3 times out a week. I know
Okay.
that.
Go ahead.
I know that drinking is counterbalance and powerful. I know that I have a disease that has a non-cure. However, I got it arrested for. I have it arrested. I have all the tools to make it in society and be a productive citizen.
Okay, all right. We'll come back to you and ask some questions in a little bit. Warden, tell
Yes,
us
sir.
about his history there.
Yes, sir. Good morning, Mr. Prater. Robert has been with us for a while. He hadn't, I think his last high court write-up was in 2014. I think it may have been for smoking or something back in 2014. So he really has stayed mostly out of trouble with us. Recently we made him a trustee. He works in our kitchen. So as a trustee, he's able to help us do some, events and things like that outside the gates, in the back outside of our razor wire and stuff. So he helps us with that. He's in our faith-based dorm, which is a dorm that's specifically devoted to faith. They have to attend so many classes, church services and Bible studies and things of that nature. He's one of the 30 members in that dorm and helps mentor in that dorm as well. And he's also a Pride member. So as far as what he's done here, he's done well.
Okay, thank you, Warden. We appreciate that.
Yes.
Thank you for hosting us this morning. Okay, let's hear from, we'll hear from the sister first, then we'll hear from Carrie Myers, and finally we'll let Mr. Lancaster wrap up the supporters, if that's okay with you, Mr. Lancaster. Does that sound right?
Yes.
Okay. Ms. Thompson, would you tell us what you have to say?
Good morning. Yes, I'm Robert Aaron's sister. I've been here supporting him, and I noticed that therefore, since he's been incarcerated, he's have changed. He has been a better person. I mean, he speaks better. He realized what he have done in life, and so forth on. And therefore, I'm here to support him and continue to support him. Out if granted, therefore, to make sure that he stays on the right path, and I'll be there to help him the best of my ability. Also, therefore, he also, I look at it to whereas the time that he's been in here, he don't realize that the crime he has done, and we are all sorry for what he have done, but he have been sorry he's sorry as well. So dealing with that, he got nieces and nephews that's out here that he could mentor. I just see that he's in a better religious point of view, mentoring the young generation of kids that's out here in the world. I see that all in him. So I'm just blessed to be here to speak on his behalf, and I just hope that everything goes well with him today.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate those words. Okay, we'll move on to Mr. Kerry Myers. Would you talk to us, please, sir?
Yes, good morning. Kerry Myers with Louisiana Parole Project. We're here to let the board know that we support Robert in his parole request. And particularly, Robert has impressed us by several things. One is his perseverance. Robert has been on the same job for 14 years. He's steady, he's consistent. He's been in the traveling band. Since his last hearing, he's continued to work on programming. His AA, drug dealing program, nurturing parent. He's in the faith and character dorm. There are several ways after disappointing hearings when you get denied, and there are several ways to go. Robert's trajectory has stayed consistent and upward, and that's what's impressive about it. He's earned his trustee status. He's consistently been involved in programming. Parole Project will continue this upward trajectory. We will be able to provide him initially with transitional housing and reentry programming, and that'll include helping him connect to AA meetings on the outside, through evaluations with our social workers. We'll help him with things like financial literacy and education and planning, and we'll help him through consumer skills and the things that someone who's been incarcerated for 27 years is going to need coming out. Robert is not the 22-year-old chronic alcoholic. He's still an alcoholic, but he is a recovering alcoholic. He has worked very hard to maintain his sobriety and intends to continue maintaining. He recognizes that the issues with alcohol led to his crimes and to his crime, and he's done those things that are necessary. We support his efforts that he's done while incarcerated, and we'll support him in his transition. So I'd ask this board to consider those things today. Cumulatively, Robert's in a sweet spot. He's got employment. At his age, he's still very much employable. And he's got support from his family. He's got parole project support. We'd ask this board to consider those factors in granting him today.
Okay, Mr. Myers, we appreciate the work that y'all do. All right, I would turn it over to Mr. Robert Lancaster.
Thank you, Mr. Prater. This is Robert's third parole hearing. And as Mr. Myers said, Robert's trajectory after each denial, his prior denials, has been to continue to improve himself, continue to demonstrate with his time in the institution that he does follow the rules, that he is disciplined, that he has addressed the issues which led him to prison. He was 22 years old at the time of this offense. He's 50 years old now. He's been incarcerated for 28 years. He was a first offender when he committed this crime. So he came into the system as a first offender. Since his last hearing, he has continued to take programming, including, Master Life class, Malachi Dad's, continued with Alcoholics Anonymous. He's done the full Rehabilitation Equals Accountable Living program, which is a multi-step program over an extensive period of time. He continues to participate in the Healing Place Church. He's also completed Nurturing Parenting. After his last parole hearing in 2022, he took victims awareness. He's had anger management. Later in the hearing, when the committee has opportunities to ask Mr. Aaron more questions, and Mr. Aaron he warms up. I know he's very nervous, but with questioning, I think he can address some of the committee's specific concerns. One thing he didn't articulate earlier was at the time of this crime, as a 22-year-old, he'd indicated he'd been drinking that night, but Mr. Aaron drank every day. He was a severe alcoholic, that his drinking meant that he lost his job prior to this crime. He lost his car. He was behind on his bills. Everything in his life that he was in control of was spiraling out of control. And as a 22-year-old, he didn't really recognize at that time the power that he had to control his own life. And that is what he's worked to understand during his time here in prison. A few more things. He mentioned that he's in the faith-based dorm. I think that demonstrates not only the institution's recognition of Robert's ability to be trusted and be a mentor to others, but that dorm also indicates discipline. Within that dorm, he attends religious services 3 times a week. He attends Bible studies. He mentors other prisons. He has responsibilities that go along with the benefit that he has being in that dorm and also continuing practice in this faith. He's been institutionally compliant. As the warden indicated, his last write-up with 2017, that was a low court write-up. His last high court write-up was in 2014. And he's also been a member of the traveling band. So he's gone outside of the prison to play music. That band, it's a religious band. Mr. Aaron finds a lot of support with his religion It's been very important for him in overcoming the things that led him to prison. That band was an important part of that process because it also built and instilled with him this idea of finding community in others. Because his bandmates traveling around, planning their performances, started instilling in him those values, which also included leadership. And being in that traveling band also indicated the institution's trust in him, letting him go outside of the institution. He did get his GED in 2020 at 45 years old, which I think is significant, not only getting a GED at 45, but also, as statistics demonstrate, individuals who receive education and GED are significantly less likely to recidivate should they be released. Mr. Aaron has a solid reentry plan. He will be with the Parole Project for as long as necessary, receiving their support, their mentorship. His sister is available to him, has offered a place in her home for him at a time in which would be appropriate for that transition. Mr. Aaron also has a strong work ethic. He mentioned his job in the kitchen. The ward mentioned that job. He's held it for 14 years. If you actually look at his attendance records from that job, I don't think Mr. Aaron has actually missed a day of work in all that time. And that's a job that requires him to be there at 5:15 in the morning every day. And recently his responsibilities there have increased as he's started with forklift operation, working in the warehouse that serves the kitchen. I would encourage the committee to ask Mr. Aaron questions about all of these things. I think he can demonstrate to you that he is genuine in his rehabilitation, genuine in his remorse. Nothing in his history since he's been incarcerated indicates he's ever going to hurt anyone again. So if there are any conditions that the committee feels appropriate to meet any of the concerns of the victims or the district attorney, Mr. Aaron will of course comply with all of those conditions. So with that, we request that the committee grant Mr. Aaron approval. Thank you.
Tell me, what is that address of the sister?
The address of the sister, I have it. I just need to get 1 second to look it up. Are you interested in the city or the actual address?
I want to know the city. Which city is it?
It's Baton Rouge. It's North Baton Rouge off of Airline Highway. It's 3983 St. Andrew Avenue.
Okay, thank you.
But if that's a concern, Mr. Aaron can work with the Parole Project for suitable housing. If that's a concern of the victim, which is located in a different area of the city. So if there's any restrictions necessary as to where Mr. Aaron could go in the parish, he would honor those restrictions, of course.
Okay, thank you for those comments, and we'll take those into consideration. Madam Chairman, I ask that we for a motion to go into executive session to take testimony of in accordance with the law. Okay.
Second.
And without opposition, we'll move into executive session with a confidential testimony. And we'll be right back. It is 9:37.
There you go.
All right, without objection, we've taken a motion and second for return to regular session. Without objection, we're back in regular session at 9:42 a.m. Mr. Prater?
Okay, Mr. Aaron, I want to congratulate you on all of the courses you've taken and the letters you got and the certificates. I mean, you've done a lot. You got your GED. You came right out of, doing good and I appreciate that. But it's not really fair to say you stabbed her because you did stab her, but how many times did you stab her? Do you know?
Like 31 times.
31 times and I mean, what can you say about that? That's a lot more than stabbing somebody. Mean drunk might stab somebody once, but to stab somebody 31 times and break the knife off in their body and then continue, that's pretty bizarre. How do I know that you won't do that again if you get off the wagon? Because you were on alcohol, right?
To be honest with you, don't get me wrong, I stabbed her. However, how many times, I don't know. I mean, I lost it. I mean, that's my first and last time doing anything like that. I would not hurt her or anyone in her family or nobody else's family. With the alcohol and my anger, I lost it. I wish I could take it back, but I can't. I can only work on today and each and every day before.
Yes, sir.
Work on being a better person. That's not my character. I've been locked up 28 years. The 28 years, that's my character. When I got locked up, I was 22. That was not this is my character right here. 28 years I've been locked up.
Yes, sir. 20 years is a long time.
Sir?
That's a long time. I understand that. But your sentence was 50 years, wasn't it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Tell me about losing some good time. You lost 527 days of good time.
To be honest with you, I can't tell you how and why. I know I don't get me wrong, I got 21 write-ups within 28 years. When I come to Angola, when I went to Angola, I was young, 22 years old. I'm hearing all the stories and hearing all the stories, and I'm not gonna lie to you. I done got into some fights. And a lot of them was behind my manhood. And I had a couple of fights, but none of them was aggravated. They were simple fights and stuff like that. 28 years I've been locked up, I got 21 write-ups. And my last one was in 2017 for a low court write-up.
Mr. Freeman, you want to talk to him about losing days?
Well, that's what we're concerned about, and maybe the warden can help us out on this too. He lost 527 days. I can account for about 360 of them. Do they just stop it that year, warden, and don't list other times he loses it?
Let me look real quick.
That's always lost 180, 90, 90, and then I didn't see what the other cause was.
Yeah, see, I got 180, 180, 30, 180, 180.
Yeah, I didn't have that. Okay. And what kind of write-up were they for? Was any of them for?
Yeah. So we got one was a combined of a fight. One of them was another one was a fight. Two of them were contraband. And one of them was a 30W. I'm not sure what that would have been.
Okay. What was the contraband, Mr.
The contraband was for a pair of Eastland shoes I had. That the Eastland, the old school, well, they old school, they don't even sell them no more. It came loose. The bottom, the sole part came loose. It got a rod in there like this long. Found that in there, found my shoe up, which it didn't have no, I don't know what the thing is now. They had took a picture. I used to have it in the file. It didn't have no sharpening, no blade or nothing on it. And they wrote me up for that.
And what was the other one? The other contraband?
I can promise you this, it wasn't nothing dealing with drugs. In Angola back then, you can have a lighter in the cell block and it'd be contraband. facility could contribute. You can have.
Oh, I understand.
Tobacco product. Sir?
I was just trying to make sure it wasn't nothing
It
major.
was something when I was field walker. I was field walker working at Camp B, and when I went to, I had tobacco up under my sleeve. It was tobacco I was trying to bring to Camp J.
Okay. Well, I'll go congratulate you for being a tier walker. It's a tough job, but if you can bring it back enough. All right. I have no further questions, but I just.
Okay.
I have a couple of questions. I noticed, prior to your last hearing, you took some victim impact training. Do you remember that?
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me what you got out of that. How did that impact you?
Victim impact, what it impacted me. My victim impact not only does it, like I say, I remember I got more out of that class than any one of them, because it teaches me to not only it's not such thing just hurting her, but it ripples down to whoever connected with her, the ripple effect, all the people that I hurt. The crime that I committed not only hurted her, it hurted her family, her daughter, my sister, my family, and the whole community. It goes on and on. And I would do, under no circumstance would I harm anyone else, her or her family or no one else. Because at the end of the day, regardless of what a person may do, that don't give you the right to do them in it.
Right. Have you given any thought to how she might still be impacted today?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes,
How do
ma'am.
you think she's still impacted today? And her family, it's my understanding there's a child in the home as well.
She probably still suffer. I know she's probably still suffering with PTSD. I know she, because all of the trauma that one particular night, the pain that I caused, at the end of the day, it ain't nobody but my fault. I take full responsibility for what I've done. And I know it impacted not only her, but her daughter as well.
So we talked about the kitchen job, and you moved up to the warehouse, the forklift or whatever in the warehouse, right? That's what you do now?
Yes, ma'am.
What job did you have in the kitchen before?
Well, I always had that job, and I was on the line, like serving on the line.
Okay.
And like now, I work at, when I made trustee, I worked at the, I worked in the kitchen, but at the same time, I worked for the wardens as well. I worked at the training center or whatever they may need me. I may transport my meat, my warehouse product to the other compounds, compound 3 and 4, like that.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Congratulations on getting your GED. I know that was something you should be very proud of.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am, absolutely.
So, how have you maintained your sobriety? I know you have access to whatever you probably want, but so how have you managed that?
Grace of God, AA, the sobriety prayer, steps, working the steps, going back and forth to AA. I mean, like working the steps.
What kind of community service work do you do in your own community?
But I bring the word, I make disciples, I pass the long drive when it comes back. I mentor to the younger guys. Tell them about God.
Okay. Is there anything else you want us to know that we might not have asked you?
I really don't know.
Okay.
I think we pretty much that. I just want to thank y'all for giving me the opportunity to, relive this moment or whatever. Thank
Okay.
y'all for giving me the opportunity to see y'all come before y'all again. And God bless you. Have a happy holiday.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Ready to vote?
I am.
All right, Mr. Prager.
Well, I appreciate everything you've done since you've been incarcerated and all the growth that you've had. I appreciate and want to congratulate you on your GED also and your spiritual growth. I know that's all that's at the very end, that's all we got. And, but you have some opposition from the DA, from the Attorney General, from the sheriff, and from the chief of police. And so they all wrote letters, and they don't think it's been enough time. You were sentenced to 50 years in jail, and you served just over half of that for a crime that's, that you know was terrible. So my vote today is to, I want to see you one more time. My vote's to deny this.
Mr. Freeman?
I mean, I look at your rap sheet and I look at, and I mean, compared to a lot of people, it's a pretty good rap sheet. It's the only charge. Done a lot in prison. My vote today is gonna be to grant to the parole project with electronic monitoring on you while you're at the parole project, and you are not to live in Baton Rouge or Baker upon your release. And that electronic monitoring is to stay on you for at least a year when you leave the parole project, because if you come back to Baton Rouge or Baker, I am gonna revoke you. And that I can guarantee you. Any contact with the victim, I will revoke. So that is gonna be my vote.
Mr. Aaron, I too have reviewed your records and the results of your previous hearings. And, you know, the reasons for denial in at least two of those hearings, I think you've had two, yeah, were pretty much the same. You know, you had opposition that we told you about today, lack of programs, you've stayed the course and you've taken some additional programs since both of those hearings. So I think you've continued to work and you've grown a lot since then. I agree with Mr. Freeman, and my vote would be to grant to the parole project transition plan, long-term, you know, with approval of a suitable residence plan that's not in Baton Rouge or Baker, with the same other special conditions. So that would be my vote today. So you got two votes that were favorable to you, one that was to deny, and you know it requires a unanimous vote. So the outcome from today is that your parole has been denied. But stay the course, sir. You'll have an opportunity to come back. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
All right, we are ready for Howard Fine. Sir, would you introduce yourself? Tell us your name and DOC number.
Howard Fine, 116637.
Where does the name Gabriel come from?
That's on my birth certificate, and my mother's name, but I, like the folks back in the day, they say, when I went to school, my mom said, tell them you're daddy, that's who you're for.
I've seen it in the record, both names. So I was just kind of curious. So, Mr. Fine, let's see, you've been through the process before, so we're just gonna jump right in. You are classified as a fourth felony offender. You're currently serving a 20-year sentence for distribution of cocaine as a habitual offender and simple burglary. So you were sentenced in 1989 originally for the distribution of cocaine. You were actually paroled. Is that right? Is that correct?
That's correct.
And were revoked in 2021 for a new felony conviction. Right?
Yes, sir.
So your good time release date is in June of 2029. I want to acknowledge that you have your wife, Ms. Chantel Gabriel, there with you, and we'll hear from her shortly. Your case was assigned to me, so I'll take the lead on the interview. So tell us, well, actually, you should recognize all three of us.
Yes, ma'am.
Because we saw, all of us were on the panel that saw you in July of 24.
That's correct.
And at that time you were denied, and there were some notations made that you needed programs. You needed drug treatment based on your criminal history. So since then, and that was in July of 24, what has changed?
I've been in 8 months, I got on the drug program, I put in 8 months on that. Which is NAA. I did 5 months at the detention center I was in. And I got 3 months over here. And I'm currently in it, which is don't ever end. No.
Well, I was waiting to hear you because it's not a program that ever ends.
Yeah. And
So how long have you been participating in AA? All those months added up?
Total 8 months.
Altogether 8 months. How
Yes.
long you been there? Since February?
Yes, sir.
Okay, what else? What else have you?
I took up raising kids and nurturing parents and living in balance.
All at DCI?
Yes, sir.
So you've done all that since June?
Yes, sir.
All right. Because everything else the opposition remains the same. The district attorney's concerned about you, and I'm really disappointed in you because you were afforded the opportunity for parole. How did you get involved in simple burglary? You still continued your criminal activity?
Well, what it was a house under construction, and I brought a guy to buy some tools from a contractor that was working there, and I was aware he was selling his boss man tools. I just got caught up in that.
Why do you think we ought to parole you and give you another chance at parole?
Well, I done got older now. I regret what I done did. I know I was a group counselor out there to trouble you. And debt to my family, to the community, and to society. And I would like to go back out there and get back up on my force. Group counselor trouble you.
How you gonna stay out of trouble and not fall into those getting caught up in stuff?
I'm not going back to my old ways. I don't do drugs no more. Clean up.
Were you doing drugs in 21?
No, ma'am.
So how'd you get caught up in that? I mean, you explained it as
I've been
tools.
locked
That's-
up since 2018. I've been down since 2018. That's when I got my sentence in 21.
So you were out for 9 years and you got caught up in all that stuff.
Yeah, I was working as a heavy equipment and operator. I got hit by 18 wheeler in a company truck, and
I had Morris Parker as an attorney and some of his doctors. And they put me on Loratel, Oxycontin, Stone, Dane Ball. And I had to take it because of my pain I was in and everything. And after 3 years of taking this substance, my body became dependable on it. When I sell it out, I couldn't get them no more at the pharmacy unless I paid $300 and something for a prescription. So I turned to buying them on black market, buying them on the street.
So when did you have that wreck? When did you have the accident? When were you injured?
2012.
How do you deal with the pain now?
I'm cleared out, dried out.
Say that again?
Every now and then I might take Tylenol and stuff, but straight.
When'd you last write up?
I never had a write-up since I've been down.
What's your plans whenever you, if you're get a favorable vote today?
Have the mayor Eugene Foucault, the mayor of that town, and his brother, which is a minister, which is a retired school teacher. They gonna get back with me, galvanize us up, and put me back in group concert trouble youth. So I got a lot of support.
Franklin,
Yes, ma'am.
we did get a letter from the mayor. And I don't know what I did, but we saw both of them. We do have letters of support from your community. Warden, what can you tell us about Mr. Howard?
Morning, Mr. Knoxville. He's been here since February, so don't have a long history on him. He does have 0 write-ups in his 7.5 years. He says he's been down, and he is a trustee in Baton Rouge, so he's one of our Baton Rouge crew trustees, works at the DOTD building down there, helping clean up stuff. So, but he does good here.
Good deal. And Ms. Chantel, what would you like us to know?
Well, I would like y'all to know that. Stand up.
You can come right here.
Okay. What I would like y'all to know is that my husband, Mr. Howard, he's not a bad person. He just got caught up, like got hit, ended up taking these different types of pills and couldn't resist the situation of the pain, couldn't take the pain. So that's the reason why, but he's more effective outside. When he left, we had 2 grandkids, now we have 8. So, we do keep in contact. At the time when he was in Centerville prison, we could FaceTime and see whatever. But, they know who he is. They're ready to meet him. But the 2 that he know of when he left that we already had, they respected where's Papa this and they. When I could go to the prison and see him, told me y'all can't go to the prison and see him and stuff. But Mr. Gabriel, which is my husband, he's more effective on the outside than he is in the inside. He's not a bad person. He just got caught up. And in y'all horse today, I pray that y'all would just find some clemency just to let him come back to be effective to the family and the young youth that look up on him, that always asking about him, always. And how he doing, keeping in contact and what's going on, and he's just not a bad person.
All right, thank you, ma'am. We appreciate hearing from you. All right, I'm going to defer to my colleagues if they have any questions.
Mr. Fine, the only thing that really concerned me is, like they say, you out, you got revoked, and your criminal history is from 1980 to 2018. How do I know that's over now? I mean, how do I know you've grown out of all of that stuff? That's a long rap sheet from 1980 to 2018.
It's over, so I done got older. My health all declining on me. I'm really sick and tired of being sick and tired.
Gotcha.
My family, hurt the community.
Okay, that's my only question.
I'm just like somebody to explain on your offender annual assessment filled out 3 weeks ago. And maybe I'm reading this wrong, or because I'm not that familiar with the DOC forms, but it says education, vocational, literacy class refused, adult basic education refused, GED refused, and What's all that about? Is that
I have.
reading something wrong or something, or?
No, so I already have my GED. I got it at 92 and ain't going.
Okay, that may be why, like I say, that's why I was, hmm. Okay, what about your pre-release? Residence plan, it says no. Discharge plan, no. Employment plan, no. Completed pre-release, 0. I guess what I'm saying, and maybe the warden can help me or.
Yes, I could probably help
Sure.
you with that a little bit. On the pre-release, they automatically enrolled a certain time period away from when they're gonna release, and he has a release date in 29, so he's gonna be, I think November is his date that he'll be put into the pre-release class. As far as literacy training, well, my notes say he completed in 2006 is what I have here. And GED, from what it says, he got his GED, his claim, but they haven't been able to verify that yet. So I think there's some confusion on his GED. That's
Okay. All right, what about an employment plan or residency plan?
I'm on a homeowner and I'm buying leave. Me and my wife brought her home and I'm 100% disabled.
Okay,
I have plates on neck and business.
that's all I got. Okay.
Okay. Are you, so yes, it does say you were gonna start, it will be enrolled to start pre-release in November, and we're in December, so have you started pre-release classes yet?
No, ma'am.
Okay, what about thinking for change?
I'm in those class.
You're in it?
Yeah, he's in there.
Okay, good. When do you expect to complete that?
It's January. January next year.
Okay. All right, I don't have any other questions. I'm gonna go ahead and vote. I'll vote first, Mr. Gabriel. As I mentioned, I'm disappointed that you didn't do well on parole. I take that pretty seriously and personally, actually. But you explained somewhat about your wreck and your accident, and I can understand how sometimes that would happen. We did get the letter of recommendation and support from the mayor and the other members of the community. You got a good job. You're doing well, it seems, working as a trustee in Baton Rouge. My vote today, I'm gonna give you another chance, would be to grant your parole after you complete the 100 hours. By law, you gotta have that anyway, so the warden can get you up in there. And I want you to finish that Thinking for Change class also before you leave. After release, you have to go to at least 2 AA meetings a week. You've already said that's what you're going to do, so that shouldn't be a problem for you. And I am going to require that you speak to at-risk youth. At least 8 hours a quarter. So every 3 months, you got to put in 8 hours helping kids. If you're successful. Mr. Freeman?
I concur, and I'm also gonna add the condition of random drug screens of at least once a month for the first 6 months, and then after that, it would be up to the probation officer.
Okay. Mr. Prater?
Okay, and I concur also.
All right. Don't disappoint us.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you.
All right, we're ready for Mr. Wetzel.
We'll get your video right here. Oh, there it is.
There. Thank you. All right, Mr. Wetzel, please introduce yourself. Tell us your name and DOC number.
Andrew David Wetzel, 539-779.
Right, and let's see, you are classified as a third felony offender. You're serving a 20-year sentence as a habitual offender for simple burglary and simple arson. You received 20 years on each of those, and they're running together, same time. Your parole eligibility date is December 16th, 2025, with a good time release in December of 2039. Is that information correct, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Your case was assigned to Mr. Freeman. Would you answer his question?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Mr. Wetzel, tell me, what did you do to get yourself, in jail? And I see you were revoked, so tell me why you were revoked. And then, tell me why we should think about letting you out today.
Yes, sir. I was out for approximately 18 months. For about 12 of those months, I was towing cars with Holden's towing out of Covington, and everything was good. I had an apartment, I had a truck, and I had a job that I actually liked. I was making pretty good money. Approximately a year into being released, I was in an accident with a tow truck where the rear back tire blew out, and the tow truck actually flipped, and I injured both my knee and my back. From there, I became addicted to both alcohol and drugs, and it fell downhill from there. I lost my place and I lost my truck, and I ended up living in a rental office, which was across the street from the business that I ended up burglarizing on December 14th that night, because I was basically out of money at that point. And committed the burglary, and less than 24 hours later, I was arrested, went to jail. I had a 10-2 jury verdict on the simple arson. I was on post-conviction relief, and the district attorney offered a deal for 20 and 20. And I took that deal.
Okay. Okay, and, Warden, what do you, have to say about Mr. Wetzel?
Yes, Mr. Freeman. He arrived here in March, I believe. So he hadn't had any write-up since he's been here in March. I think his current job is a tier walker, which, you know, helps us out on those tiers, as you know, of making sure no one's having any issues down there as far as mental issues and things like that. But that's really what I know for him.
Okay, and, let's go on and before I question you, let's hear from Miss, Farron Risen, your aunt.
Hey, I really don't know what to say. I know when he was out, he did help me a lot with my kids, like getting them on the bus, off the bus. From what I could see, like he helped a lot. From what I know, like he never really got in any trouble other than that. But other than that, like I think he's a good person inside and out. And I know my opinion doesn't matter, but I think he deserves another chance.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Uh-huh.
Okay, let's talk about you, Mr. Wetzel. I see since you, got over there at DCI, you've enrolled in a lot of classes and you've completed a few. Tell me what class you completed that, you got the most out of.
Living in balance would be the one I got the most out of, because it talked about different triggers, and the instructor basically explained that it's like driving down the highway, you see an ad or a billboard for McDonald's, and then next thing you know, when you're stopping at the gas station, you decide you want McDonald's. And the same goes for drug use. If you're around those certain people or around them certain issues, next thing you know, you're back on getting on drugs or alcohol, whichever is your vice.
Okay. On 2/24/25, I see you were transferred for disciplinary reasons. What was the disciplinary reason?
Yes, sir. When I was at Tallulah, I was the education tutor and booking clerk, and we had a teacher that was 86 years old. The warden there and the education director there, Miss Sandy, informed me or told me basically to do all the computer work for her. The computer was a state issue laptop. When the new sheriff took over and a new warden came from DOC, he said that wasn't authorized. And since I was working on it, even though I was told, I got the write-up and I pled guilty for it. It was a low court write-up.
Yeah, that warden left and went to West Baton Rouge, I think.
We had Warden Genervis Boney, and then the warden from David Wade, Jerry Goodwin came and took over.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know that.
It's good to know. All right, and how long have you been in? How long have you been in since you've been revoked?
5 years.
5 years, okay. So you spent a little time in jail. So you've actually done 5 years on 20, correct?
Yes, sir.
And with your third felony offender?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you stole from the law office, but why did you put the rag in the fuel tank on the bus?
Attempting at that time, I was especially young and dumb, attempting to destroy evidence, or what I believed was to destroy evidence at that time.
Okay, and when did that happen?
That was in 2009.
Right, okay. That's what I thought. And so you've been revoked twice, correct?
I was on probation and I got revoked on probation and then parole revocation. So yes, sir, twice.
Okay. All the law enforcement is opposed. The victims had no comment. And your medium custody, I got written down. That's correct, Warden?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I have no further questions.
No question.
I don't have any questions either, Mr. Freeman.
Okay, Mr. Wetzel, you no doubt, you're pretty educated. You talk well, you're doing well, you're taking classes. The problem I got is you've been revoked twice. So I think you need to do a little bit longer than 5 years since you have a problem with supervision. But if you keep doing what you're doing and you complete those classes, I think that things will look a lot brighter for you at your next. So my vote today is to deny, but keep doing what you're doing, and I think if I'm on the board, you'll have a very good shot next time you come up.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Craig.
I concur.
My vote also is to deny for the same reasons. Good luck to you, Mr. Wetzel. We'll see you again.
Thank you, man.
That concludes our business at your facility. Thanks, Warden.
Take care.
All right, good morning. Committee on Parole is now reconvening. We're at the State Police Barracks. It's Tuesday, December 2nd, 2025, and the time is 10:35 a.m. Captain, good morning. Would you introduce yourself for the record?
Yes, ma'am. Captain Patrick Washington, State Police Barracks. Ms. Lisa?
Oh, Lisa Praise with classification.
All right, you're not solo today. Good.
No,
Well,
ma'am,
thanks for having us today. And we have in front of us, Mr. Is it CAIRE?
Yes, ma'am.
Would you introduce yourself? Tell us your name and DOC number.
My name is TORY CAIRE. My DOC number is 224-264.
And we have some folks here. Well, you can see Mr. Myers on the Zoom, also here with us in Baton Rouge. We have, well, your attorney, you have counsel here today. Would you introduce yourself for the record?
Yes, Grace Bronson, here for Mr. Tory CAIRE.
Thank you. We also have Janice Bates, your mother, Sherry Jackson. She'll be speaking on your behalf. Deborah Henry, and also Quincy Bates, your father, is here. You see, we have Mr. Randall Meyer on Zoom. He's with the District Attorney's Office in Jefferson Parish. And then we have your daughter, Tori Mollison, who's also on Zoom. So your case has been assigned to me. So let me just read the information into the record. You've been through the process before, so you know how it works.
Yes, ma'am.
So you, Mr. CAIRE, are classified as a second felony offender. You're currently serving a 40-year sentence. You were sentenced in Jefferson Parish in April 2006 for manslaughter conviction. Your parole eligibility date was February 24th of 2024, and you do have a mandatory good time release date, March 2nd, 2037. Is all that correct, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
So your case was assigned to me, so I'm going to take the lead. So first of all, we want to hear from you. What did you do to wind up in prison? I do see you had a hearing in October of 2023. You were denied because of the opposition that we'll restate today and your history of drug abuses. What have you done since then to address those issues of concern?
Well, first and foremost, I would like to thank the board for this opportunity to be here. Again, my name is Tory CAIRE. I'm a recovered addict. I've been incarcerated for 21 years, 10 months. I've been sober for 21 years, 10 months. I would like to say that I'm sorry to Shantae, James, Ingrid, Iron, our children, Tori, DeJaneiro, Jonquel, both sides of the family as well as the community. I admit that I was wrong. I allowed my actions, my troubled mind, to lead me to be reckless, selfish, inconsiderate, out of control. Each and every day, I think about the cause of what I've done. I regret all barriers that I caused inside their heart. God knows if I could take back what I did, I would. I'm deeply ashamed. Excuse me. I'm deeply ashamed for putting everyone through a devastating mindset, afflicting trauma, pain into their life. I pray that one day that God can forgive me for what I did. As a young kid, I grew up in poverty. The household I grew up in wasn't peaches and cream. A lot of things that I did see, I shouldn't have. And I believe it affected me the most. I started using drugs and alcohol at the age of 17, 18 years old. Not long after, I was selling drugs. I was selling, excuse me, I was selling drugs to fund my own habit. Not long after, I was out of control by the time I was 34 years of age. I used drugs and alcohol to numb all failures and responsibility, and that affected my wife and my children the most. During that time, I didn't have a clue of any resources of getting help. And if there was, the people that I hung out with wouldn't have got it. As a man, I was too prideful to admit that I had an addiction. Excuse me. And I didn't confront that as well. Instead, I allowed drugs and alcohol to consume my life to where I made all the people that I love and cherish miserable. 2024, February the 24th, I was sitting in my home on my staircase. I was smoking crack cocaine, smoking weed, drinking hard liquor, when I heard a voice outside of my window. I got up, I went to my window, I looked out, I saw my neighbor, and I saw an unidentified male standing next to her. As I went down to open my door, there was nobody to be found. At that moment, I got a little paranoid because of the life I was living. So I proceeded to go back on my staircase and continue to drink, smoke crack, more than what I was doing that night. I used drugs and alcohol all the way up to that next morning. I could recall me approaching Shantae with all my insecurities and all the rest of my baggage that I had was going on. I asked her about what was going on. She had no idea what I was talking about, because when I approached Shantae, I was aggressive, I was outraged, and I just wanted answers. We went back and forth. We started arguing real heavily. I allowed myself for that argument to escalate. At that moment, I grabbed the knife. I lost control. I asked my kids to get out of the room. The argument, I escalated, continued. We went back and forth, forward and back. And that's when I heard I swung the knife at Shantae. Then I heard Tory asking for us to stop. I pushed Tory out of the way. I swung the knife at Shantae. Shantae rushed toward me to try to retrieve the knife from me. We struggled for a moment. That's when I got a stronghold with Shantae, and that's when which led me to stab Shantae multiple times. Shantae fell to the bed. I dropped the knife to my side. I realized what I have done. I know what I did. It was wrong. I grabbed Shantae. I put her on my legs and hold her on my chest. And I told her that she would be okay. Moments later, I could recall hearing the sirens, and I panicked, and I laid Shantae next to the pillow. I left out the room like the coward that I was. I didn't stay to help her. I should have, but I didn't. I went to the neighbor's house, where I was later arrested. And I was told that Shantae had passed away. At that moment, I knew I had a serious addiction. I knew I had to take responsibilities, to take whatever steps I had to take to change. I confessed to what I did. I gave the statement to the detective. And later, I received 40 years. I had time to think about what I've done and came to an understanding, which led me to put all my imperfect behind me and get some help. I've taken multiple classes as well as self-programs. I learned that any substance abuse is a conflict cycle, which causes problems, actions, and consequences. I had to de-escalate these problems by self-change, recognize risk, and paying attention. I also took a class, anger management, and I learned that anger management is an emotion. And to control your emotions, you have to replace old thinking patterns with the new ones. The one I got out the most was victim awareness. I learned that physical emotion, mental harm, any action caused to the victim, the family, the children, becomes a secondary impact. I had to learn empathy, learning to understand what I have done, the choice that I made to cause every suffering that I proceed to do with my loved ones. All these classes, they helped me to become the man that I am today, to express what I never learned how to do as a kid, to express my feelings, to put people first, to honor and cherish my sobriety, as well as making better decisions, becoming the man that I am today. I'm seeking parole today because I know who I am now, I know who I were, and I know who I will be tomorrow. I'm no longer a liability, nor a threat to the public. I have trustworthy jobs at the training academy. I work for the state police as well as the cadets. I do interact with all different types of law enforcement throughout Louisiana. I have a great support system. My family, my children. I also have an active sponsor, a spiritual advisor. And if I'm granted, I will be going to the parole to get further assistance to help me with job training, technology, and et cetera things. I also took another program that will help me with the same curriculums. It's called FOM Fathers on a Mission. I'm here today asking the parole to give me a second chance, have mercy, to where I can finish my sentence on parole. I want to prove to the parole board, my children, my family, the community, that I can be an excess achiever in society. Again, I would like to say that I'm sorry to James, Aaron, Ingrid, Tory, Dejanero, Janquel, both sides of my families, as well as the community. Thank you.
All right, I'll have some questions for you in a little while. Captain, what can you tell us about Mr. Caire?
Good morning again, you all. Tory's been here for 3.5 years. In that time, he's done an excellent job working for us. He currently works, as he said, at the Training Academy, and he's around all of the employees at the State Police Academy, and we have nothing but positive things to say about his work ethic.
Thank you, sir. So we'll hear from the folks that want to speak on your behalf. Could we first hear from Mr. Myers with the Parole Project?
Yes, good morning. Kerry Myers with Louisiana Parole Project. We were here for Tory at his last hearing. We continue to be here for Tory. One of the things I think that is evident is his remorse is genuine. And I think that reflects everything about Tory. He's genuine. He understands that his addictions led to his actions, and he has continuously taken steps to address that particular issue, his addictions. He's committed to his sobriety. He's committed in the future. He's been committed while he's incarcerated to his sobriety. Parole Project will help him through his transition. We will obviously take him into transitional housing. We'll provide him with support systems, a case manager, and mentorship. We'll help him with technology and financial matters. He'll also be evaluated by our social workers, and particularly with his addiction issues. While we believe he is actually, I think his plan already is pretty comprehensive about his sobriety, about having a sponsor, we'll continue to evaluate that and work with him in that. The maturity he's shown at the age he is now, we think he's an excellent candidate. I think his character comes through in his sincerity. We believe that Tory is an excellent candidate for parole, and we just ask this board to grant us parole today.
All right, thank you. So here we have Ms. Sherry Jackson. Could we hear from you now?
Good morning, members of the board. My name is Sherry Jackson, I'm Tory CAIRE's sister. I work for a nonprofit organization, just got Chairs Diocese of New Orleans. I've been there for 34 years. Married. My husband is in law enforcement also in the police department. He's been on this job for 37 years. We have 3 kids. My oldest, which is my niece and my godchild, who I raised with my husband since she was 22 months old. She has a 7-year-old child. My oldest son, he has a 13-year-old grandson. And my daughter is expecting her first child at the end of her husband. First, I want to begin by acknowledging the immense pain and loss that Shantae's family and loved ones have endured. There are no words that can take back the tragedy or the loss that my brother has endured. My family holds them in our thoughts and prayers every single day. Over the years, I've seen my brother truly accept responsibility for what he did. He has shown genuine remorse, not just through words, but through actions. He has participated in ministry, self-esteem, think for change. He's in the work release program. He's received his forklift and GED certificate. He knows his consequences of his actions, and he's working hard to become a better person. I'm not here to excuse what he did. I believe in responsibilities, I believe in change, and I believe in redemption. That every person can learn from their worst choices. Granted parole, our family will continue to support him with his rehabilitation and reintegration into society. Thank you for allowing me to speak, and thank you for considering this case.
Thank you. We appreciate your remark. And so we have Mr. Bates Senior.
Yes. Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Clancy Bates. I am Tory father. Me and Janice been married for 51 years, me and my wife. When Tory was born, I went to the hospital and picked him up in 1969. He have always been, and trust me, obedient child. What happened to him, it take God to tell me. I never would have thought where I raised my child. He's a good child. He's a good man that did a bad thing, a shameful thing. And he come around to his actions. He know what he did. And I told him it was shameful and it was wrong. My grandchildren suffered just like me and my wife and his sisters. We have suffered for 20-something years. I haven't had a decent night's sleep since my son been incarcerated. He's a good man. I told him I wasn't going to sugarcoat nothing for him, and I won't lie for him. And he know that. At one time, when I was working, he got out of school. I had a job for TLJ Construction Company. I built a bridge, I-310, from north to south. Every deck I built for TLJ Construction Company. I had to hire 15 men. One of them was Tory. He was a smart, no attitude, wasn't afraid to get his hands dirty or his feet. I brought him out there, him and his brother. He made it. My other son didn't. I had to let him go because he couldn't do the work. Turner's a good man, trust me. If you let him out of here, give him a second chance. Ever who hired him are a good man, a man that would work. I done tested it. I worked it. When I went to farmers meeting, when I went to classes, went on the job to check the job out for what I was doing with 15 men and my son, he was my lead man. When I walked off the job, he took control. Supervising men, 50 older than me. He's a good man. He's a hard worker. And who hired him, if y'all cut him loose, he would make a good employee and a good neighbor. What he did here does not reflect the way I raised my children, my daughters, and my grandchildren. I love every one of them. I got over 15, 20 grandchildren. And I know every one of them. I love them, I help them. What Tory did was shameful. I love my grandkids. And guess what? They love me too. Before all of this happened, they would come by my house on the weekend, go in my backyard, I grow plants. And Tory liked to grow plants, which is good. He would take some of my plants. I wouldn't tell him nothing. He'd walk out there with him, you know what I'm saying? Go home, set his house up. Every now and then I would go there. I felt like I'm responsible for certain things that happened in life because I wasn't there enough. Even though I took them fishing, I took them hunting, I got them jobs when they got grown, I cleaned them when they was babies. I did all of the things that a father and a grandfather could do, and I'm proud of them. I did not deserve them. I gave him a chance. And he held remorse. When he grabbed me and hugged me, when I first talked to him after I went and seen him in Revocation, he squeezed me so tight, and he was crying and shaking, and so was I. I'm 50 years old, I'm 51 years old, I made 51 years old last month. And I told him that I want to live long enough to see him free again. I think he paid his due. That's not my decision to make. I don't know. That's up to you, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen. But I tell you this here, you won't make a bad choice. I supervised 15 men. I dealt with men my age and old and young. I respect people. I come from a respectable family. We don't believe in hate, knocking other people. Tory's like that too. He just did a bad thing. He took after me. I respect people. If David Duke was in here, I respect him too. I ain't got nothing to do with what he do or how you think.
Thank you, Mr. Bates. We appreciate your testimony.
If he was here, I would respect him. If I had to work for David Duke, I'd give him the same thing I give myself for my mama.
Yes, sir.
I don't care nothing how you feel about it. It's about respect.
I agree. Thank you, sir.
Yes.
We're
It's not
gonna move
about
on.
like,
We're gonna move on
I
now.
raised my kids like that, people, and I did every one of them.
We're gonna move on now, sir. Thank you. We appreciate it.
I'm good?
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Thank you.
sir. All right, Ms. Bronson, could we hear from you?
Good morning
Good morning.
to you all. Good to see you all. Thank you all for being here and continuing to hear all of these cases day in and day out. It's not an easy job, and I feel like I say that when I come before you all, balancing a lot of different factors. We are before you, and I have the pleasure of representing Mr. CAIRE. I have been working with him for the last couple of years, and have been talking with him and understanding the depths of what led him to this situation. And I think that we all know in doing this work, but also understanding the complexities of people, that they come into and arrive at these instances where a crime is committed and harm is done, but not in one instance. Mr. CAIRE, despite having a really supportive family, as you heard from his father, had a strict father, had a father that demanded work and demanded that he be better than him, and all of that came with him and from his past. That translates into different ways, different cycles of control or abuse or violence that are brought up and are seen. Mr. CAIRE has mentioned those things that he has had to figure out for himself, to what led him to killing a woman that he loved. And I say that he loved her honor her, to bring Miss Shante into this space. I know his daughter is watching. He has multiple other children that he has relationships with. And this, we have to honor her. We have to bring her into this space, and I don't take that lightly. And I know Mr. Cares doesn't, or his family, who all had a relationship with her as well. Over the past 21 plus years, Mr. Cares has devoted himself to doing the only thing that he can do. If he had the power to bring Shante back, I know that he would. The only thing that he can do is put his time in to be a different man, and to find out why he did those things. He's taken all of the required DOC courses that he was eligible for. He's taken and some. He's participated in and got certifications, his GD, all of the basics that I'm sure are reflected in the paperwork that you all have. And even since his last hearing, he took what the board had to say very seriously. He's continued to work at the police barracks and gain trust. As you heard, he went from working at the Office of Motor Vehicles to now working at the training facility with the Louisiana State Police, with the cadets, and people who are in training, as well as the other officers and troopers there. He has taken Thinking for a Change, Cage Your Rage, and continued to go deeper into his sobriety plan and developing a plan by getting a sponsor, having an active AA schedule that is rigorous, as well as facilitating a 12-week program. All of those certificates should be before the fall as well. His reentry plan is extensive, not just his family support and the parole project, but also he has employment opportunities. He has the ability to continue to get counseling, to get sobriety, to have his sobriety plan and be engaged in that for a lifetime. And I will say that in terms of being incarcerated for 21 years, he has 10 write-ups. He has been interviewed and chosen to be at the police barracks, which he has been for a couple more years since he was last before you all. And so I would say that all of that creates Mr. Caire to be a kind man. He's an honest man. I've sat and listened to him and talked to him for hours about what his decision and what he did. And I know and stand before you all today, not just as his attorney, but as somebody that has come to know him, that he is deeply affected by this and knows that any chance moving forward would only be to pay a debt that he can never make up. And he is fully aware of that and also wants to continue to grow in himself, but also give back and talk to young people, and coming from New Orleans, where his family is, where there's a lot of need for that. And I would say that there are a lot of opportunities and communities for support for him there as well. So as always, any questions that you all have for me, but thank you all for taking this opportunity and listening. So thank you.
Thank you. Any questions? Thank you. All right, so now we'll hear from the DA's office, Mr. Meyer.
Good morning, Randall Meyer, Assistant DA, Jefferson Parish. First off, I'd like to make a correction in misstatements, I guess, from my letter in opposition. The annual assessment stated that he still needed 12 steps, but I did then found in the progress report that he has completed 12 steps and some other substance abuse programs. And then looking at some of the other certificates, I don't know how I missed that, and I apologize for that, but there's been, quite a bit of substance abuse participation that he's been doing since the last hearing. The captain spoke very well of him, of things that he's done. However, because of the nature of the offense, his criminal history, and only serving 21 of the 40-year sentence, we'll maintain an opposition to his request at this time. If this board does decide that parole is in order, we would ask that part of the conditions of parole would be that he continue with AA treatments. Thank you.
Yeah. All right, so I have some questions of you. So, Tory.
Yeah.
So or remarks, I do appreciate the work you've put in since your last hearing. I think you've done, applied yourself to address the concerns that were mentioned to you. When we first got started, I think I heard you say, as you introduced yourself, I'm a recovered addict. Did I hear you?
Ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
And then I heard you say something, I think, about your AA participation, that you realize that it's ongoing.
Yes, ma'am. That's a part of me, and that will be a part of for the rest of my life. Like I say, I honor and I cherish my sobriety, and I take that real serious, because without that, I wouldn't be the man that I am today.
Right. So I say all that to say, I think maybe it's more appropriate that you refer to yourself as recovering, because you'll always be recovering.
Yes, ma'am.
Never get over it. You got to work at it every day.
Every day.
The rest of your life.
Yes, ma'am.
So tell me a little bit more about, one of the things I noted after your last hearing was there was some concern that you don't accept full responsibility for what you did. It seemed, and I wasn't on that panel, but it seemed at that time that you did lay some blame on the victim. Address that concern for me.
Yes, I have laid the blame on Shantae. I know that the 15 years that we were together, at that moment, I felt betrayed, and I knew I was wrong to feel that way, because Shantae was a good woman. She was a hardworking woman. Shantae never drank, go out, party. She never did none of that. Shantae was really the backbone holding our family together when I couldn't. I was so far gone, I didn't even realize it. And I came to an understanding that I put all my insecurities on Shantae, to blame her for all my wrongdoing that I have done. And today, I regret that, because I am to blame. I was the aggressive one. I was the one that caused everything that happened. And I am the reason why we're here today.
Okay. So let me ask you this, one other question, and then I'm going to defer to my colleagues, because I think I understand what your plan is and all of that, should you be successful. You mentioned earlier that you saw some things as a child probably should have never saw. Did you say that?
Yes, I did, ma'am.
So as I understand it, when all this happened, your 12-year-old daughter was a witness.
Yes, ma'am.
And she actually tried to get between the two of you to stop you.
Tory,
How do you think she feels about it? What do you think that did to her even today? Have you thought about it?
Yes, ma'am. She, right now today, was just like me, traumatized for what she saw me and her mother go through. And that's unacceptable. What I say today to the board, it don't justify what I did. I know I put my daughter through a lot of harm, aggravation, and every day my daughter have to live with it. She have to live with it. She have to live with that. And if I can undo that and give a hard closure, I would do anything to do that for Tory. Tory deserves the best. Tory is a smart young lady. She always have. And I should have never have put Tory nor her mother through that. And I regret it up to this day. Every day I have to live with that the rest of my life.
As does she.
As does Tory.
All right, I have no other questions. I'll defer to my colleagues. Mr. Prater?
I don't have any questions.
Do you have any contact with your other children?
Yes, yes, I do. I talked to my son, T. Ryan Brown. I talked to DeJaneiro. I talked to my son Tyron. I I do send word to the ones who I can't locate to. And I also talk to my son, Jonquel. Yes, sir, I do.
Okay. I don't see any other questions, Tori, so I think we're prepared to vote, and I'll be voting first. Well, I reviewed very carefully the entire record that was presented to us. I looked at real hard at what you've done since your last denial. Listen to what the captain said, and I think that the parole project is a good program that has put together a really good transition plan. I'm impressed by the fact that you've set up your sponsor and you realize that you got to do that for the rest of your life. I'm willing to take a chance and grant you parole today to that plan, long-term plan. And do the requirement of AA meetings every week, at least twice a week. At least twice, more would be preferable, because you can help others in those meetings too.
Thank you. I will. I promise.
I'm just one vote. That's my vote. Mr. Prater.
I concur with that. I lean heavily on what the captain has to say. And so I concur with what you.
Mr. Freeman.
Okay, I was that vote she was talking about last time that I didn't think you had accepted responsibility, but today you have fully changed, and I really do believe you have accepted responsibility for what you have done. So my vote today is also going to be to grant, but I do not want you contacting Tori. If she wants to talk with you, she is to initiate it. Okay? Do not initiate or bother her unless she wants to.
Yes, sir.
You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Up to you.
I'd like to say one more thing. I would like to say Merry Christmas. Thank you. Thank you. Hold on. I don't want to say nothing. Okay. Okay, we leave it. Thank you. Okay. Oh,
All right, we're ready for Mr. Addison.
Yes,
Mr.
ma'am.
Addison, you introduce yourself. Tell us your name and DOC number.
My name is Lloyd Addison, 163-846.
All right, Mr. Addison, you're classified as a third felony offender. Sentenced in Jefferson Parish as a habitual offender for attempted manslaughter. You're serving a 40-year sentence and your parole eligibility is April 16th of 26. Does that sound
Yes,
correct?
ma'am.
Here
Yes,
with us in Baton Rouge, we do have your attorneys. I'd like, could you enter your name into the record, please?
Good morning. My name is Jane Hogan. I'll make a statement at the end.
Okay, thank you. We also have with us, Mr. Myers with the Parole Project, and Sandy, your daughter, is also here with us in Baton Rouge. And then in opposition, we'll be hearing from the District Attorney's Office in Jefferson Parish. First, your case was assigned to me, and so I'll take the lead. Would you tell us, sir, how did you find yourself in prison? What did you do? Why do you believe we ought to consider an early release for you?
Well, first off, I'd like to thank the board for this opportunity to take responsibility for my actions. On April 2006, me and my companion, Miss Charlotte Rush, were on a week-long drug binge. We checked into a motel and continued our drug binge. In the wee hours of the morning, I brutally attacked and stabbed Miss Charlotte Rush. I can't begin to tell you how sorry I am for my actions. Simple "I'm sorry" does not begin to convey my feelings on this matter. Every day for the last 19 plus years, when I wake with the guilt and shame of my actions. Miss Charlotte Rush did nothing to provoke me. Miss Charlotte Rush did nothing to deserve this. She trusted me through some sketchy situations, and it turns out that I was the monster that she needed to be protected from. Also, I would like to offer an apology to her children, John, Donald, Tabitha, Larry, and Elizabeth, for the fear and the terror that they must have been put through getting a phone call that their mom was in the hospital because of me. There's no excuse for my actions. And I really don't have the words in my vocabulary to share how sorry I am.
So why do you believe we ought to consider you for early release?
I've taken a lot of programs since I've been incarcerated, and these programs have pointed out my character flaws. I was arrogant. I was violent. I was angry, but most of all, I was a man child. I grew up physically, but I didn't grow up emotionally. I was very immature, and I used drugs to mask that. Why should I be set free? I would like to live a drug-free, sober life and set a good example for my grandchildren and my children.
All right, we'll have some questions for you shortly. Captain, what can you tell us about Mr. Addison?
LA has been with us for about 13 years. If I had to choose a word to describe him, it would be humble. He's one of the gentlest souls that I've met since I came to the state police barracks. He don't say a whole lot, as you can tell. You might not even notice him in the room if you're not looking for him. But if you ask him, or if he sees a need, he's going to fulfill it for it. He works 7 days a week, keeping the laundry, and it's not an easy job for 130 people here. And he never complains about it. He always has a smile. It's a little crooked, but he smiles. And he's willing to go above and beyond with anything we ask him to do.
All right, thank you, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
So we'll move and hear from the Parole Project, Mr. Myers.
Good morning, Kerry Myers with Louisiana Parole Project. We're here for Lloyd Addison today. As the captain just said, Lloyd's been at the barracks now more than 12 years, going on 13 years. He just turned 65 years old. He's shown stability and maturity in that. I think when you just heard from him, he certainly is self-aware and recognizes his own failures in life, and he's done the things that he needs to do to recognize that and correct that. He has taken the whole course of programs while he's been incarcerated. And to that, even though he's been at the barracks, even though he's a self-admitted workaholic in our conversations, and he's had a work history, so he is also, and we will look into it for him. We believe he is still employable, and we will work on that. But I believe he is also going to be eligible for Social Security retirement because he is now 65. But if he's not currently, he would be in the very near future. And he would be able to draw both incomes once he starts employed. He'd be able to also receive full Social Security benefits. So we're not concerned about his future economic viability. We plan on offering him long-term housing. He is a long-term client with us while his daughter is here, and he does have family connections. We believe that his best option is to have long-term housing with Parole Project. During his transition, obviously, he'll get the full complement of our services, from financial advice and management to our social workers and counseling, to consumer skills, to the things that he needs to re-enter society and be a fully functioning member of society. Based on his time there at the barracks, the comments of the captain, his work ethic, and we certainly, I think that's going to, honestly, we'll probably have to slow him down just a little bit because he's ready to go to work tomorrow if he's granted today. But obviously he's going to need the programming. So we just ask this board to consider these factors and grant his parole.
All right, thank you. Sandy, we'd like to hear from you, and would you tell me what is your last name?
Dallas.
Dallas. Okay.
Good morning. My name is Sandra Zagalis. I'm the oldest daughter of Lloyd Addison. I'm here today to speak on his behalf as I have stayed in contact with him his entire incarceration for 20 years. I have witnessed all the ups and downs in his life. He became my father at the young age of 16, married my mother, went on to have 3 more children by the age of 26. As you can imagine, life was tough for a 16-year-old high school dropout raising a family, but he never left us, even though there were times I wish he had. Thank God for unanswered prayers. Speaking of God, I grew up with my father confessing to be an atheist and never agreed with that. And I believe that on why he was so mean. Now that I'm grown, I now believe he was mean out of being stressed and scared, raising a family so young. His belief in God are one of the first big changes I noticed early on in his incarceration. He started speaking of praying for me and attending church. Then he was baptized. It was hard to believe it was true for a while, but to this day we still discuss scripture and pray. He's still a believer. I have many certificates of Christian Grace programs he has completed since being incarcerated. Another big accomplishment of
was him receiving his high school diploma. It took him 2 months to complete a pass and complete and pass the exam with high scores in 2009. Very proud of him for that. I also have multiple other certificates of skills training he has completed, like animal sheltering and skills with LSU medicine, air conditioning techniques, and advanced brake systems. He's also completed the PRIDE program along with multiple substance abuse programs. He really has come a long way from the man I knew before he was incarcerated. This has been a very hard situation for our entire family. It feels like we all have been sentenced. I have 3 children that only know him, know their grandfather behind bars. They come with me to visit every visit I can make. They used to ask really hard questions like, when will Papa take me fishing? Unfortunately, those trips never happened. My boys are now 19 and 16 and are just starting their own lives too. But nothing would make them happier than to finally get that fishing trip. My daughter is only 10 and doesn't understand all this yet. She just knows Papa can't come home. And when we go to see him, she gets treats. My father is the only grandparent the kids have. They would love to have a real life relationship with him one day. My father also has 3 other children with 11 more grandchildren. Most of them have all moved out of state now. Those are relationships I know he'd love to reconnect with. When my dad comes home, he has my husband and I's full support ever started his life. I understand there's a program he'd have to go through to help him adjust, but we are here for him. As I close my statement, I just want to say my Christmas wish this year would be to finally have a release date from my father. Through all the bad times in life, he always made sure our Christmases were the best. Those times are my best childhood memories. I pray that this Christmas wish can be a blessing and new chapter for our family. I truly believe my father has been taught a life lesson. I now see the man in him I wish he could have been when I was a child. Thank you.
Thank you.
Morning. Thank you for this opportunity to speak on behalf of Mr. Addison. What I would like to say is just Mr. Addison's record truly speaks for itself. This board knows it's difficult to get to the barracks and it's even harder to stay there, especially for almost 13 years. Before he worked in laundry, he was working as a mechanic fleet and cars. From 2010 to 2013, he was at TCI, he was in charge of an animal sheltering program there. And his entire 19 years, almost 20 years of incarceration, so he has 1 DV report. I think he took a carton of milk out of the cafeteria. And so it's a low level write up, but 1 report in almost 20 years is something you don't see it. I would also like to point out that at this moment, Mr. Addison is 65 years old, as Mr. Myers from the Parole Project stated. He still has his mind, he has his strength, he has job skills, he is able to work. Which would make his transition to society a lot better for himself, his family, and he's able to get out with some of his mind's strength left over. He has served almost, his original sentence was 20 years. So he has served almost at his parole eligibility date will be his 20-year sentence. He was a habitual offender and his sentence was doubled, but I believe that the prior offense was a nonviolent drug possession. And he has really demonstrated throughout his last 19 years that the issues that brought him to prison he has worked on. He's taken substance abuse classes, he's taken every class that was available. He's been in barracks now almost 13 years. So for all these reasons, we would ask the support of grants.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, Mr. Meyer, could we hear from the DA's office, please?
Yes, good morning. Randall Meyer, Assistant DA, Jefferson Parish. We're opposed at this time. There's victim opposition, as well as, I think an insufficient time served due to the nature of this offense. Looks like it's right about 19 years, 40-year sentence. But despite one big problem I have is despite the some of the comments about the programs he's taken, I don't see that in his DOC record. The list of programs shows he took, well, since 2010, 2011, he hasn't taken anything except pre-release in 2021. He took an anger management and a victim awareness course. The two substance abuse courses that he has taken, or maybe, and there may be another one with the certificates, but they were all 2010, 2011. I don't see anything in his record showing that he's done any additional substance abuse programming. No AA. I don't see any 12 steps. In fact, the annual assessment says he hadn't been taken. So I think that's a really big issue for me. The fact that he's doesn't appear to be continuing to deal with a serious substance abuse issue that he has. For those reasons, we are opposed to his request. However, if this board were to grant him a parole, we would ask that there's no contact with the victim or her family and mandate that AA participation is undertaken. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Meyer. So, Mr. Addison,
Yes, ma'am.
speak to the concern about programs. Have you had any additional programming since 20? Tell us about your most recent programs. I'll put it that way.
Well, I've been here at the barracks for almost 13 years. And we have limited access to programs here. What we do have here was the cage, your age, the victim's awareness, and the 100 hours of pre-release. And I've taken all three of those classes. I have not taken AA because I feel it's inmate facilitated. War stories from inmates are not going to be helpful to my situation. I have 30 years of war stories of my own, but I would be willing to take AA in a non-confined environment. But as far as classes available to me here at the barracks, AA is the only one that I haven't taken.
Captain, can you
Yes, ma'am. So over the last year or so, we just got to where we were able to facilitate some of the classes that Mr. Randy was talking about. AA being one of them. We had somebody teaching and then they left, and then we just got a new guy earlier this year, and it's taken some time for him to get up to speed. But we are starting to get to where we are facilitating more of those type of classes. We do have a lot of faith-based classes that happen here, but as far as the AA and NA, we're getting there. We're just not where other facilities are.
I see. All right. Well, thank you for that. I just want to mention this, Mr. Addison. We do note that, your sentencing judge was opposed to any consideration for early release for you. And it's the reason stated was you denied responsibility for the crime. But I didn't hear that from you today. I heard that you accepted responsibility for the crime.
At the time of trial, the only plea bargain that was available was a 30-year sentence. And I felt that I was just better off going to trial. I would have taken a reasonable plea bargain. It's just that I felt I was backed into a corner and I wasn't willing to take 30 years at 46 years of age.
All right. So aside from this violence against a woman, severe violence, had you ever done anything like that before? It seems I've seen some, that maybe there was a history of abuse of other women.
Nothing to this magnitude, but I can't deny that me and my wife had domestic violence issues, such as slapping and what have you, but nothing to this magnitude.
Any other women?
No.
that is a concern that was issued about the extreme violence of what you did.
Yes, ma'am. And again, I have no words in my vocabulary to share how sorry I am for my acts.
Okay. I don't have any other questions. Any questions?
How long exactly have you been incarcerated?
19 years and 7 months.
So on your parole date, it'll be 20 years.
Yes, sir.
That's all.
All right, I think we're ready to vote and I'll be voting first. And your case is very, very difficult for me because of the extreme violence. It was just a terrible thing. I realized, and I read all the details of the whole thing about everything. And it doesn't alleviate my concerns. Although I do agree with what Ms. Hogan has said, being at the barracks, and I made that comment before we got started speaking with you today. Wow, he's been at the barracks for over 12 years. That's quite remarkable. Because it's hard to get there. You went there pretty early on, I noticed, I thought. But it's also an indicator of, you adhere to the rules, you don't get in any trouble, you apparently are doing a good job. You've had more than one job with them. You've and the captain have explained the concerns about your lack of participation in AA, although I don't quite agree with your analogy of it, but I understand your feelings about it. I've heard the parole project plan. My vote today would be to grant to that plan.
Thank you.
With the, I mean, I don't know what my colleagues will say, but if granted, my special condition would be no contact with the victim at all or her family ever, and attend at least 2 AA meetings every week until the end of your sentence.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Freeman.
Okay. I also, I mean, you had me all, I was going good until you started with the AA stuff, and that's your beliefs. But any AA better than no AA, especially when you was on an 8-day binge when all of this happened. So my vote is gonna be to grant conditionally upon you completing a substance abuse program through DOC, long-term substance abuse program through DOC.
Mr. Prater.
I'm really concerned about the violence against women aspect of it. It's that troubles me. And the fact that he's only served a portion of his sentence for a severe crime. But I trust him and I trust my colleagues and their reading of the situation. I'm going to concur with what they say.
Thanks.
So do you agree with the
And the
long-term
conditions.
Yeah, okay. So, and I do too. So you got some work to do, Mr. Addison. You've got some substance abuse treatment. It's going to be intensive. But you got to successfully complete it prior to release.
Yes, ma'am.
That means you're going to move from your job. You're going to move from the barracks.
Yeah.
Okay.
And to the parole project plan, and I've already explained the special conditions. No contact ever with the victim and attend at least 2 AA meetings a week and do whatever aftercare treatment plan is recommended by that treatment facility. Then you'll go to the parole project.
Yes, ma'am.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Captain, that concludes our business. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we are now at Southwest Correctional Center and Transitional Work Program on Tuesday, December 2nd, 2025. It's 11:46 a.m. Good morning. Thanks for accommodating us today. And we have, is this Mr. Guillory?
Yes, ma'am.
You introduce yourself, tell us your name and your DOC number.
Adam Guillory, 772975.
Okay, I'm just going to read some identifying information into the record and ask you to verify if it's accurate or not. Mr. Guillory, you're classified as a first felony offender. You're currently serving a 15-year sentence. In Assumption Parish, sentencing was September of 2022 in Assumption Parish, operating a vehicle while intoxicated. You received a 3-year sentence. And then in March of 2023, that was a third offense. In March of 2023 in St. Charles Parish, fourth offense, DWI, 15-year sentence. And your parole eligibility date is April 8, 2026 with a good time release, January 11, 2027. Does all that sound right? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
The case was assigned to Mr. Prater. Would you answer any questions he has?
Okay, Mr. Guillory, tell us why you're in jail.
Drinking and driving.
How many times?
This is actually the fifth, but I had 2/3.
Okay. All right. What have you done since you've been in jail that's going to convince us that we need to give you another shot on the street?
I took Living in Balance 1 and 2, which that's all I was able to get around right here at this facility. And just staying away from all of the trouble and everything else. And I'm working also. I've been working for the past 2 years, going outside.
What do you do?
I'm actually the lead welder in the fabrication shop at Murphy Cormier General Contractors.
Okay. How long have you been at that facility there?
June of 23, I got here.
So you've been there the whole time, right?
Pretty much.
Basically. What was your sentence?
It was 30, suspend 15 for the fourth offense, DWI.
Okay. And how much time have you served?
Well, as of right now, 3 years and 3 months. It would be like 9 months if I would receive my parole eligibility date.
Okay. Is anybody in the room with you there?
From the facility?
Yes, sir.
Would you tell us what kind of fella he's been?
He's been good. There's been no write-ups at all. Everybody seems to like him here. He's a great worker. I'd have to say he's been a good model for a lot of the inmates here. Everybody likes him. Like I said, he's never had a write-up since he's been here. I think he's, in total, this would be the second day he's ever missed at work. He gets up and goes to work every day. There's no complaint. He works. He's a good worker.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay. I'd like to hear from, let's see, Tony and Glenn Guillory. I think your mother and father, they want to speak to us over Zoom. Okay. Tell us about your son.
A fantastic son. His problem was that he drank and he would drive. He is an awesome worker. He is a good dad. We miss him terribly, and it is a burden for us to visit him because it's almost a 6-hour trip, 3 hours over there, 3 hours back. We're in our 70s. We have medical problems, and we would just like him to be home with us so that he can see his children, for one thing.
Okay. All right. Does the dad want to say anything?
He actually left.
Okay. All right. And then we have the sister, Tiffany, but she's not going to be speaking, I don't think. Okay, let's go back and let's talk to Adam again. Let me talk to Adam. Okay, Adam, one of our biggest jobs is, in fact, our main overriding concern is the safety of the public that we have to decide this board. You got a bad record. What's gonna keep you from drinking when you get out? You gonna get out and all of a sudden you're gonna be celebrating.
I'm done with that. Must attend AA and NA meetings, brotherhood meetings at my church, if possible. Go to a treatment, outside treatment. St. Mary Behavior Health already told me they'd take me in for treatment. And I'm just ready to get my life straight and back on track better than it is now.
Okay. Well, I wouldn't even consider letting you or voting me, my personal vote, without you completing a long-term substance abuse treatment. That goes without saying, but I'd like to see how you're doing that before I vote to release you. Madam Chairman, how can we?
You can put a conditional term of his release. Then he's got to complete it before he gets out.
Yeah, he could, yeah, he has time to do it.
And he has time to do it. He's got to, I was looking at that because he needs treatment. We just doing a disservice if we don't get it before he gets out of that.
Okay. All right, that's all the questions I have before I vote.
Any questions?
I have no questions.
So let me just ask you one time. How many times have you been arrested for DWI?
4, 5,
6?
6.
Yeah, and you know what? That tells me you've actually done it a lot more times than that. Driven while you're drinking, driving while you're drinking. Just telling you my observation. I don't think we have any, I'm not asking for a response. I'm just telling you we know. Would you be amenable to the treatment before release?
Where would it be?
Does it matter?
How long is the program?
Do you finish it? All right, I think
I
we know.
mean,
Yeah, I don't think you want to leave that money, do you?
No, I'm just, yeah, I mean, I'm making a little bit of money right now, but I was just asking how long the program would be.
Okay, I'm ready to vote.
All right, let's vote.
Yep.
Ms. Prater.
My vote is to deny your request and to recommend that you be sent to a long-term treatment, to a facility that has a long-term substance abuse, treatment.
Mr. Freeman.
I concur with Mr. Prater.
And I concur with Mr. Prater too. We're gonna deny your parole, so good luck to you, sir.
All right, thank you.
That concludes our business at Southwest. We're signing off at 11. All right, we are now at St. John the Baptist Parish. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to y'all.
Sir, would you introduce yourself? Tell us your name and your DOC number.
My name is Kennedy Jackson, 297999.
Mr. Jackson, do you remember signing some paperwork, a parole revocation questionnaire?
Yes, I did. Yes, ma'am.
Based on that information, it was determined you're not eligible for an appointed lawyer today. You ready to proceed without one?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so we're here for a revocation decision. I'm going to read the allegations against you and you'll enter a plea of guilty or not guilty. And we're talking about violating your parole conditions. All right?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, we'll hear from you before we take a vote. So the first one is, there's two instances, condition number 4, which has to do with criminal activity. The first one says, on December 8, 2024, you were involved in criminal conduct, which led to you being arrested and charged with battery of a dating partner by the St. John Parish Sheriff's Office. It does say the matter was set for trial October 7th, and on that date, the charge was null pros. But how do you plead to violating the conditions of your parole number 4?
Not guilty.
Then there's another instance later that month, a violation of number 4. It says on December 24th, 2024, you were involved in criminal conduct, which again led to your arrest by St. John Parish for the charge of simple battery and simple criminal damage to property. You were arrested on that warrant December 27th, 2024. That was set for trial in September. It was continued to October, but on November 17th, that charge was null pros. How do you plead to violating condition number 4?
Not guilty.
So tell us, on the first instance, this happened in December 8th rather, battery of a dating partner. What happened?
What happened? On
Yes.
what day it
The
was?
first time, the first arrest.
Oh, on a dating partner. I was friends with this young lady, and I was taking her to the laundry to wash some clothes, and she kind of like, didn't feel like she was stable enough to wash the clothes. And I turned around to bring her back to the truck stop where we met. And she kind of like, took my phone, and all I wanted was my phone. And she called the police. And when she called the police,
y'all were arrested?
oh, yes, ma'am. Both of us was arrested. She was arrested for, I think, intoxication and theft.
You were arrested for theft of your phone.
For me?
She was.
Yes, ma'am. She was arrested for stealing my phone.
Right.
And
Tell us what happened the next time, later that month. Second arrest.
Second arrest? Me and my friend, we went to the bonfire. We got back, my daughter and her boyfriend, they was there. And I woke up and he was in the kitchen drinking at about, I see, 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning. I raised my voice at him. Then my girlfriend, she got up and told me it could have been handled in a different manner. And she said if I leave, she would call the police and said I hit her. I left and went back to where I was living at. And next thing I know, I went to work. 2 days later, I was arrested.
Did you tear the skirting off her trailer?
No, ma'am. That was the skirting off the trailer came from the storm before. Blew them off, the skirting. I never touched the skirtings. No, ma'am.
Did you kick her car?
No, ma'am. Never kicked her car. Never.
Why would she say that? You did.
Because she was mad. She said she was calling. I don't know why what she said. I left. I told her I would be back to open up the presents for the kids when I come back the next day after she cooled off, because she hadn't took my son-in-law side saying that it could have been handled in a different manner.
Okay,
she
so
had been
that's Miss
drinking.
Washington,
Yes, ma'am.
and the first was Miss Clarette.
Yes,
Beyond
ma'am.
that, are
Yes,
you
ma'am.
involved? What is your relationship with Patrice now?
None. We separated.
Right. How long you been in jail?
A year and, 11 months and 1 week.
And in both of these cases, there's some indication you had been drinking?
No, that's what I read in the report saying that me and the first dating partner had been drinking. No, she had been drinking when I first talked to the probation officer. I was letting him know that that's why she changed her mind about going to wash her clothes because she had been drunk. She had been drinking. I wasn't drinking due to the illness that I have. I'm drinking alcohol.
All right. I don't know what to do with you, Mr. Jackson. You just say you didn't do anything wrong, did you?
I sure didn't. I was there, but I didn't do anything wrong. No.
All right. I don't have any other questions.
I have questions.
I'm out.
All right. I tell you what, Mr. Jackson,
Yes, ma'am.
I read it all. We have lots of body cam footage.
Yes.
The reports that we have on both those arrests is pretty extensive. So I do know that you've been in jail almost a year.
Yes, ma'am.
If you had been prosecuted in the courtroom, and I know in one case, they now prosecuted because the victim didn't show up. Not because nothing happened, but because the victim didn't show up. But you've been in jail a year. I don't think that you would have been sentenced for that period of time anyway, had you been convicted in court. My vote today is going to be do not revoke, reprimand you, and return you to supervision.
Okay, thank you.
No more incidents at all, or are you going to go back to jail for the remainder of your sentence?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Okay, my vote is gonna be the same, but stay away from those two women. I don't see no report with those.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I promise you.
Mr. Prater?
I concur.
All right, Mr. Jackson, we'll send the paperwork over today. You'll be
Thank you.
released. Good
Thank
luck.
you. Happy holidays.
Hi, good afternoon. This is the Committee on Parole. We are now at Washington Parish Jail and we have Mr. Matthew Williams. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Just for the record, I need you to introduce yourself. Tell us your name and DOC number.
Matthew Williams, 480-215.
Mr. Williams, you had a revocation hearing back in October, on October 23rd, 2025 of this year. And at that time, the committee, in lieu of revocation, ordered you to complete a long-term substance abuse program. And they were the Department of Corrections tried to send you to the Steve Hoyle program. But that facility rejected you, not because, but because of your medication. You have some health issues that they weren't prepared to deal with. When you had your revocation hearing initially in October, you pled guilty to all the allegations. It was condition number 3, condition number 4, conditions number 6, 9, and 10, and you pled guilty to all those violations. What's that?
I was that what I chose to come to report, and nobody ever brought this up again. What I chose to come to the parole board for is not because I'm not guilty for any of it, because obviously I am. But I wouldn't run in like on purpose to get away. I was in a bad situation. But the main reason I want to come to the parole board is I'm eligible for a technical violation for a sanction. At the time, I'm no longer serving an aggravated sentence.
I don't know.
The reason the parole officer said I was not eligible for a sanction, like a 30-day, 15 days, because I was serving time for aggravated charge. I'm no longer serving time for aggravated charge. That ran out in April or March. When I got revoked was in August. So I should be eligible for a sanction, right?
Well, not if it's found that you participated in criminal activity.
No, I never caught no new charges.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you did.
No, ma'am, I did.
No,
I
you
never
didn't.
caught. Huh?
You tested positive.
Yeah, tested positive.
That's right. You admitted.
Oh, yeah. But that calls for a technical or a sanction, right?
It could.
It could. Behind on your fees, your whereabouts were unknown till you were arrested. And you explained, I believe, there was some extenuating circumstances.
Yes, ma'am.
Defer to Mr. Freeman for something else.
Mr. Freeman's down there.
What's that? Defer to me for what?
For your,
They could give him a sanction. They do not have to give you a sanction.
Right, okay.
My mom had liver and lung cancer. Not to cut you off, not to make you feel sorry for me, but man, please, I'm eligible. I know the prisons, I know the jails over full, all that. I didn't catch no new charges. I wasn't trying to catch no new charges. Please consider me for a sanction, please. I'm begging you. Like.
Well, Mr. Williams, you did participate in illegal activity when you participated in the use of the illegal drugs. So, Mr. Prater, you have any questions?
I got a lot of questions. I just don't know who to ask them to. What are we gonna do to keep you from using drugs and to stay out of jail?
I will go to a rehab on the street. I give you my word. I'll go to a rehab on the street no matter what it takes. No matter what it takes. I missed out on a lot of people dying, and I don't want to miss out on my mom if something happens. I would do what it takes. I would take extra drug screens. It's known that I will go to the parole office if I have a way. I rode a bike from Bogalusa all the way to Amite to meet the parole.
I remember all that story. I do. I'm from the family.
But wait, I want to go on and get it straight on the administrative sanction. That is not an option for us, as he is still being supervised for aggravated flight, which is a crime of violence.
He says he's not.
Those terms that ran out in March. I got sentenced to a 5-year sentence and an 8-year sentence ran concurrent. Records will reflect that sentence.
We got that. Well, that was just coming from someone that's looking at the records.
We have the records, sir. So are we ready to vote?
Can you? Can you, drug tested every 30 minutes? I once heard that. Hmm. Are there any other facilities?
Mr. Biden.
Nobody's gonna take it
Nobody's
for
gonna take it.
substance abuse in DOC.
Okay.
Let me just say this, Mr. Williams, you're a seventh felony offender. You've had multiple opportunities. I'm sorry about your mom, but your situation is of your own doing.
It is.
And I am willing, my vote today is I have no other option but to revoke you. I think you're still a public safety risk, and that is my vote.
My vote is the same. Without treatment, I just can't see us putting you back on the street.
Mr. Prater?
Okay, thank y'all concurring with me. That's exactly what I voted.
Yeah. Mr. Williams, unfortunately, today your parole's being revoked. Good luck. We'll ask for, options for your treatment, but I don't know. Good luck to you.
All right, thank you.
Okay.